Hello, test, test, test. Mic test 1 2 3 4. Hello, mic test, 1 2 3 4. 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 Hello, test. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 mic test, mic test, mic test, mic test, mic test, mic test. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, mic test, 1 2 3 4. The live streaming will start in some time. Please wait. Yeah, live streaming will start in some time. Test, 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 test. Live streaming will start in some time. Mic test, mic test. Live streaming will start in some time. Please keep online. Please be online. Live streaming will start in some time. Please be online.
Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear? Can you hear me? Good morning. Am I audible? Am I audible? Is it clear? Hmm? Okay. I welcome everyone this morning and thank you for the amazing response. Hundreds and thousands of students have registered for the event, and that was the reason why we had to delay it by about 15-20 minutes, because believe me, hundreds of them didn't know how to enter the website and then access the lecture. So what we did was we just shifted the lecture from our target educare server to YouTube server. So you can directly go on to YouTube, type youtube.com/targeteducare1 and you can watch it. And an additional feature is you can share this lecture. You can share this live event on your Facebook, your Twitter. There are a lot of icons given, social media share icons given on YouTube. You can share on any one of them. You can share it on all of them, depending on where all you have your accounts. But the only difference is people who have officially registered and logged in can only interact with the faculty. Those who have not registered but are watching it because you have shared it and they are using your shared link can only watch the lecture passively without interacting with the faculty. Either way, I ensure you that it's going to be a treat for all of you, because we have picked up three main topics which are very essential for all fresh graduates. The first one is like the one we were planning to start at 10 a.m. that we are starting now at 10:30. The first topic is how to crack entrance exam, and we are going to build a solid roadmap towards two exams. The first one is AIIMS November 2015 and second is AIPGEE 2016, because the who have registered or the people who are the current batch of target educare, their two priority exams are AIIMS November 2015 and AIPGEE 2016. So we are going to deal with these two exams in today's lecture, and we have got 1 hour in this. So first I'll finish the lecture in about 35 minutes, and then we will have a discussion session where you can ask us questions. There is a provision, they can ask questions. And then there is a video on the YouTube itself, the right side, there's a provision of asking. Yeah, our technical team is here. They are telling me that there is a provision for you all to ask questions. Please ask questions and we'll try to answer 4 hours. Fine. So the first part is AIIMS 2000 November 2015 and AIPGEE Jan 2016, and we'll be dealing with certain strategies how to ensure stunning success. Fine. And the next session will be abroad avenues, where our expert faculty will speak on higher education as well as emerging work opportunities abroad. And the third session will be, this is a new plan that we have come up with, that whenever we hold such online events, we will dedicate one session to one upcoming field, hot emerging field, where we see a lot of scope in the future. So people who are confused as to which is the good upcoming field, the commonest questions that we get every day, which is a good field to opt for, where should I create my niche area and all those typical questions. So we will be introducing one good field. So for that we'll have a separate faculty. So that will be our third session today. So let us begin with the first session, how to ensure a stunning success for AIIMS November 2015 and AIPGEE 2016. Today I'll be talking about some of the common errors done by students in their preparation strategy, and I'll tell them how to get over those hurdles, how to remove those wrong preparation strategies, and how to adopt the winning strategies. The first, the first thing, the first misconception, or what you can say, wrong strategy adopted. Let us discuss that. Should you ask others on Facebook, WhatsApp for the right answer? Should you be asking others which is the right answer? The commonest trend seen all around on social media, people are asking others which is the right trend, which is the right answer. And commonly it happens that people refer to different MCQ books and then they give their answers, and they want to know whether this answer is reliable or not. So who do they ask? They ask their friends. So how much is this strategy helpful? How much is this strategy productive? Is it a good winning strategy, or there are some inherent risks in this? If you see a typical discussion that happens, I've blocked the names. This is how it happens. Only the option is given which the student thinks is correct. The problem is we don't know whether the student is giving this answer based on his own textbook reference. Is he intelligent enough to think and answer, or is he referring to some MCQ book which you don't know, or he is referring the same MCQ book which you are referring, or the worst problem, is he repeating just the answer which was typed just ahead of him by the student who answered just before him? So if a discussion takes place because of such things, you will not be benefited at all. So don't think that if you are a part of this kind of discussion, you will be helped. Fine. So my advice is be a part of only those discussions where there is some scientific discussion going on. Then what is happening in these? What is happening in these discussions? The thing is, people are accumulating answers. These discussions are an attempt to ask the whole world whether you all agree to this answer or not, and based on others' inputs, you go on accumulating their answers. This is not the right strategy at all. Remember one statement that I'm making now: answers are not knowledge. You can tell it 10 times today. Answers are not knowledge. People who accumulate answers to one fixed type of question, one fixed pattern of question, may face a big difficulty on the day of examination if the same question comes in a twisted format. The examiner uses a different word and the student is not able to decipher it. Everybody is able to hear me? Am I audible? Let me check first the quality of audio. If everything is fine, we'll continue. or we'll just fine tune it? Audio is fine? It is okay? Was it running till now? And till now it was running right from first slide. Okay, please close it. So the first advice from our side is answers are not knowledge. Don't be in a habit of accumulating answers. And not every answer is an asset. Most of the time, these answers accumulated act as liabilities. Students are sitting on a big pile of liabilities. The question comes in a slightly different, twisted format, and they are not able to answer. And once they come out, somebody else tells them this question was exactly the one that we had discussed earlier, which was in this format, and everybody is in a state of shock. We have seen it for so many years. Thousands of students, they didn't know that it was the same question that they are answering, which they had answered a few months or few exams back in the preparation exams. Fine. So I suggest all of you get into these discussions only if you are learning science. And when I tell you this, don't think that if you are not discussing, if you are not helping your friends, you are doing something wrong. Try to understand these three categories. Your friends with whom you are preparing, they are your competitors. That doesn't mean they are your enemies. There are three different categories. In your 4 years of BDS, when you are helping each other in weekly tests or university tests, college tests, no, the term test that you used to give, you used to help others because all of you wanted to pass together. Entrance exams are not like that. You have to beat them, only you can get rank. And I still don't understand the concept. How can you take and depend on the answers which are given to you by your own competitors? And if you are on the giving side, again I don't understand, why should you help your competitors with the right answers that you have struggled to accumulate? So this is one thing you should all think about. Based on this, you take your decision. So the only advice I give is be a part of social media discussions if science is being discussed. Don't do it for the sake of accumulating answers, because answers are not knowledge. Don't confuse these two things. Second issue, can authors vary in their answers? Everybody has his own way of thinking about this. I just want you to conclude, give your conclusion in these three things: yes, no, or I don't know. There are very few people who say authors can vary in their answers. A majority of them say, no, how can they vary? How can they vary in their answers? Everybody should be giving the same answer. Everybody should be giving the correct answer. And there are again a few more students who say, I don't know. I have not been able to decide it. Because I have seen 2-3 MCQ books and I am convinced by all of their answers. And I cannot tell out of these 3 MCQ books where every book has given different answer, which one is correct and which two are wrong. Or I don't know whether all three of them are correct. Or at the same time, I don't know whether all three of them are wrong. Fine. So let us assess this issue. Can authors vary in their answers? First thing, it is their book. It is the author's book. Every author has full freedom to give his own choice of answer based on his own textbook reference. All authors have their own set of standard textbooks which they refer, and give explanations and answers from. So they have got full freedom to do this. The thing to note is no author just gives you one option, A, B, like that. Along with that answer, he also gives you the textbook from which it has been taken. He tells you which textbook, the author, the edition, which page. To that extent, every MCQ book is written. Fine. Now, you are expected to go to the textbook and refer to that. It is expected that you do this. And once you read it, if you are convinced, stay with that answer. If you are not convinced with it, you should go to your own standard textbook, read it, and generate your own self-referenced answer. Fine. So there is no point in blaming the authors. You are supposed to read the explanation given by the author based on the textbook he has referred. You should go to that textbook, read it, and see whether you agree to it or not. If you don't agree, make your own self-generated, self-referenced answer. So even if you blame all the authors throughout the year, it makes no sense. If you don't have your own self-convinced answer, there is no way out. So there is nothing like Target has given this answer, this book has given this answer. They are not their answers. It is not Target answer. Target has given A, Gauri Shankar has given B, Pulse has given C. This is meaningless. What you are supposed to compare is the textbook that Target has given, the textbook that Pulse has used, the textbook Dr. Gauri Shankar has used. You should be comparing those. So if you see these discussions where they say Target says A, Pulse says B, Gauri Shankar says C, waste of discussion, waste of time. Get out of these discussions. Now the common complaint is, how many questions can we do like this? We have very little time. How can we go to textbook for every explanation? Are we not going to lose this precious time? What is the answer? Such questions are very few. About 10 to 15% questions may be like this. Not even 10 to 15%, 5% questions. And even if you leave these questions, it is not going to affect your results. What happens is, for these 10% of questions, students waste 90% of their time. And whereas for those 90% of questions which actually bring you rank, that can actually give you a rank, there is no time left. So change your strategy. Focus or dedicate more time to those questions which actually give you time, which give you rank. Don't waste here which are of no use. Fine. Second, this exercise is compulsory. Do it if you want a rank. If you don't want to do it, it is your risk. It's a risk that you are taking. Fine. So can authors vary in their answers? What is the conclusion? It is their book, not yours. Second, it is your exam, not theirs. Fine. So if you are appearing for the exam, if you want a rank, please do this exercise. Blame game doesn't give you any rank. Fine. Next, third issue. Can the exam boards give you a very difficult paper? Like what happened in the last AIPGEE 2015. Can they give you a very difficult paper? Yes, very much. Just like the author has full freedom to give his own answer, every examination board, every paper setter, every exam convener has full freedom to make his choice of paper. Again, it's up to you. Whether you are here to blame the paper or to get a rank, prepare accordingly. After coming out of the hall, blaming the paper, how can they give such a difficult paper, is a heated discussion or a glorified post on Facebook for 10-15 minutes, maybe a day. But you are not here to write those posts, you are here to get a rank. So you better prepare for any type of paper. The problem is people prepare very well for a repeat kind of paper, and they are well versed with only those repeat type of questions. The moment a paper comes in a slightly different format, they start facing the difficulty. Fine. So you better be prepared for any type of paper. The paper can come in any way. Be prepared for the worst. And if it comes easier, it is good only. Fine. Next. So suppose a very difficult paper comes, like what happened in AIPGEE 2015. Suppose an extremely difficult paper comes in the examination. Should you worry about it? No, not at all. Need not worry. Why? Because it is the same difficult paper for everyone. You should be worrying if everybody else gets a different paper and everybody gets an easy paper, and your day was so bad that only you got that most difficult paper. When everybody gets the same paper, again it's an exam, it's a test of equivalence. On that day, whoever performs better gets the rank. Fine. So let us see a hypothetical situation. Imagine two extremes for Jan 2016 exam. You have gone to appear for AIPGEE 2016. Fine. See on the left hand side. The exam paper is so difficult. Your AIPGEE 2000 paper is so difficult that all questions are about macroeconomics of Nigeria or economical crisis of Greece, and they are not even general knowledge questions. They are extremely difficult questions where you are supposed to do calculations and forget thinking about the answer. You are not able to understand a single word given in the question. Fine. So everybody is just staring at the paper for 3 hours. Fine. Exam is over. Everybody comes out. All 5,000 students, all 10,000 students. Everyone is blaming. Everybody is blaming the board on Facebook, WhatsApp, everywhere. Everybody is asking the same thing. How can they ask such a difficult paper? And finally the day of result arrives. So what do you expect? The paper was so difficult that nobody was able to understand a single word. According to you, nobody should get a rank. But what happens? There will still be 200 students who will get ranks from first to 200. Am I right? Yes. There will be a person who will get first rank, even in this paper. There will be a person who will get second, third, fourth, similarly till 200th rank. Now come to the other extreme. What is the other extreme? You go to Jan 2016 exam, and it is the repeat paper of AIPGEE 2015. Now AIPGEE 2015 exam got over. Within next 15 days, on Facebook, WhatsApp, everybody discussed and everybody knew the answers. Everybody knew all the answers. Now what happens is AIPGEE 2016 paper is exactly the same which you had got in AIPGEE 2015. The exam board was so lousy that they didn't even change the heading. They just made Xerox copies of those AIPGEE 2015 papers and they gave it to everybody. Even the order of the questions is same, options are same, absolutely no change. And you knew all the answers. Everybody knew all the answers. So what do you expect now? All 5,000, 10,000 people will get the rank because everybody knew the answers? No. Again, the ranks will go to 200 students only. there will be only one person who will get first rank. There will be only one person who gets second rank. Means extremely difficult paper and extremely easy paper. When these two extreme situations can be irrelevant to your ranks, how can minor variations affect your performance? It means what? Whoever performs on that day under the given circumstances gets the rank. Somebody who was as ignorant as you, somebody who faced exactly the same level of difficulty with that Nigeria paper, got first rank on one extreme. And on the other extreme, when everybody knew all the answers, somebody got first rank. Fine. So when these two extremes can work, all the in-between situations can also work in a similar way. So what is the conclusion? These exams are not absolute exams where you have to bother about your absolute percentage. What used to happen in BDS was, when there used to be a difficult paper, you used to worry because your percentage wouldn't go up. You would have scored 55% instead of 65%. That was your complaint. But here it doesn't matter. You can score even 25% and still stand first to the nation, because these are relative exams. At the same time, if the paper is very easy, there is no need to rejoice. There is no point in being happy, because you may be scoring 85%, but still you may stand nowhere in the rank list, because there could be somebody else who has scored more than you. I have seen both situations. I used to stand outside the exam halls. Students used to come out very happy. I used to ask them why. They used to tell me the paper was very easy. Makes no sense. At the same time, I have seen students coming out of the hall crying. I used to ask them why. They used to tell me, they told me the exam paper was very, very difficult. The whole batch is sad. The whole batch is disappointed. If the whole batch is sad and disappointed, it is not a reason to worry. If the whole batch is happy and joyous, no need to worry. Maybe the second one is a need to worry. Fine. So don't depend on these irrelevant emotions, irrelevant scales that don't apply to entrance exams anymore. That is just a hangover of your first to fourth BDS performance. Those absolute exams are over. These are relative exams. Here you have to just beat the rest of the population. That's it. Irrespective of what your absolute percentage is. Got it? This is what happened in the AIPGEE 2015. Two hypothetical situations. There was a guy who was crying because he was very angry with the examination board. How can they ask such difficult questions? What was his complaint? His complaint was, if the paper was easier, he would have scored at least 15 more marks. Fine. He got a rank of around 550 something. That's why he was very, very upset. Fine. What he forgot was, in the same difficult exam, there was another guy who stood first, or there was a guy who got the last rank but still qualified. Now analyze the situation. If an easier paper had to come, this guy, the complaining guy, says he could have scored 15% more. Now the same thing applies to the intelligent guy. This guy could get a rank, could manage to get a rank even in that difficult paper. So if the first guy says he could have scored 15% more in an easier paper, that paper would have been even more easy for this rank winner guy. This guy would have scored 30% more. So the thing is, actually the difference could have widened. So what happens in these situations is, now this first guy got a rank of around 550. If the paper was easier, he would have come out of the hall happy. His absolute percentage would have gone up, but his rank would remain 550 only. It wouldn't go higher. So what is the truth? In entrance exam, it is not your absolute percentage. Even if your percentage goes up, it doesn't guarantee you any rank. What you need is rank, not higher percentage. Fine. So get this thing out of your mind. So on the day of examination, you enter a hall, you find the paper very difficult. Don't get into a state of panic. Realize that it is the same difficult question paper for everybody and everybody else is struggling. Now you have to beat others. That's it. You don't have to score 100%. You are not here to increase your percentage. You are here to just beat the others. So out of those 200 questions, if 80 questions are extremely difficult, it means 120 questions. The remaining 120 questions are within the comfort zone. There you should not go wrong. If you go wrong in that 120 set of questions, you are doing an unforced error. And it usually happens that people start spending more time on these 80 difficult questions. They lose time for the remaining 120 easy questions. And when there is very little time left in the end, they go wrong even in these easy questions. So make a strategy. Whether you are appearing for AIPGEE 2016 or AIIMS November 2015, first you identify which are the easy questions which you can solve. Answer all of them. Give more time to them, answer all of them correctly, and then go to their questions. Fine. So first round, go through all the questions, the ones you are 200% sure of, tick mark all of them. Second round, the ones you are 100% sure of, answer them, then come to others. I tell you one example of AIIMS November, I don't know, 2010 or 2011. People were complaining of one oral maxillofacial surgery paper. How can they give such 20, 25 extremely difficult questions? And the person who got first rank had not even touched them. He had solved only about 70 questions. He had left those 20 questions and he managed to get first rank. So he didn't lose any additional mark because of negative marking. So play wise, play smart on the day of examination. So who goes wrong in these examinations? People who accumulate answers from others. People who go with the mindset that this paper should have more and more number of repeat questions. They go into a state of panic and they go wrong even in those questions where they could have gone correct. So this is one strategy that you should adopt and get out of this mindset that there is something called as very difficult paper and there is an easy paper. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't apply in entrance exams. Fine. Next. So next concept I want to tell is the three kind of students. This is exactly similar to three types of people in the real world: the poor, middle class, and the wealthy. And they are exactly similar like a poor performing student, an average student, and a rank holder. So what is the difference? How poor live? As you can see, there are two parts to your financial performance. The upper half is called as income statement, the lower half is called as balance sheet. Income statement has got two parts, income and expenses. So how do the poor live? Whatever they earn in a day, they spend it at night and they are again back to zero. This is what happens to those students who are only mugging up the MCQ answers. Those who keep those answers in flash memory. So these answers stay there in memory for a very short time. They go to sleep and the answers are forgotten. And the same question comes after 3 months and it's a fresh new game all over again. They think they are revising. They are not revising. They are doing double work. Revision is where you have already mastered the concept and you are revising. What people are doing here is double work, which is waste of time. It does not ensure any rank. Fine. So what is the balance sheet? Zero assets, zero liabilities. Learn in the morning, forget in the night. Exactly like poor. Earn in the morning, spend in the night. And the next day, it's a new story all over again. Come to middle class, average students. What do? A middle class person earns some amount of money. From that, he buys a lot of liabilities because he wants to live like a rich person. He will buy a he will buy an expensive mobile, he'll buy a big TV, he'll buy a big car, he will use his credit card to maximum extent. So what is he creating? He is creating a lot of liabilities. And all these liabilities drain his earning. So all the income goes through liabilities into expenses. See the asset column. Asset column is zero. So what happens to average students? They read very little, but they compare it in 10 different MCQ books. These 10 MCQ books are equivalent to, akin to those expensive gadgets. And most of their time is lost in comparing different authors. They are doing proofreading for free. If they are really so good in proofreading, they should enroll themselves in websites like Freelancer, Elance, Odesk. They will actually earn more than what they would earn otherwise in dentistry. So what is happening here in the middle class category, the average student, he is unnecessarily working too much on not required things which are not required. So if you compare a middle class guy with a poor guy, the poor guy actually has some life because as a student he is dependent on one book. He reads one MCQ, remembers the answer, goes to sleep. The average guy is putting in a lot more hard work because he is not just dependent on one book, he is dependent on 10 MCQ books and he is comparing all of them. See the additional work and what is the reward? Almost zero. So my advice here is stop comparing books. Reduce your dependence. Become independent. Start trusting your own self-referenced answers. Improve your analytical ability. And then go for the paper and be ready for any type of paper where you can think and answer. So what happens is if people are referring too many books and they don't know which book to follow, if I conduct an experiment where I'll send 100 students into one hall, 100 students into another hall, and I allow full copying in one hall. I provide them all MCQ books. Okay, start copying. And in the other hall, I don't allow them to copy. You think there will be any difference in the performance? Not much. Because this hall, students will be comparing from which one I should copy. Whereas here, students will not be copying. They will think, they will worry, but in the end, the performance will be same as the other hall. So where are we heading? In IIT, IIM and in other fields, the performance and the percentage going up 90-95%. People have improved their analytical capability to great extent. But only here, people are just comparing books. Gauri Shankar says A, Pul says B, Target says C. Which one I should answer? Okay, what is your answer? I don't know. That's why I'm asking my friends what is the correct answer. Get out of this mindset. You are intelligent enough, resourceful enough. You have text. These subjects have already been taught to you. The university has given you a certificate. You can open your and start treating patients. There is not a single new subject to you. The questions will not come on macroeconomics. You will not get any question on petrochemicals or astrophysics. So these are the same questions which you have answered for 4 or 5 years. So relax, trust your own reference, trust yourself, develop self belief, self confidence, and go and answer. Fine. Then you will come to the last category. If you do this, you will become wealthy. So what you are doing? You are doing self reference, you are developing your own concept. Fine. Start connecting different concepts. Once a lot of concepts get connected to each other, it becomes a core concept. Core concept is one word which we have been using for the last 10-12 years. Ever since Target Educare's first exam or the first student entered. From the first student we have been teaching it, start developing core concepts. So these core concepts are your assets. From these assets you can generate answers. Even if you combine 100 MCQs, you cannot generate a single core concept. Whereas from one core concept you can generate 100 other answers. So respect science, respect your intellect, develop your own core concepts. From that you can generate 100 new answers. Reduce your dependence on different MCQ books. For you, it's a question bank. Start generating your own answer, start trusting yourself, and then see the magic. Fine. So what you'll be doing, whatever income comes, you'll be creating an asset out of it. There are no scattered answers here and there. You are connecting all of them. That becomes an asset. From that, you are generating newer answers. So if you go to a hall with a lot of core concepts in mind, even if a paper comes with 100 difficult papers, 100 fresh questions out of 200, you will be able to answer. This is what I want all of you to rise up to. Fine. Next. So these are the two cycles. After comparing those three income sheets or financial performance sheets, this is the summary. Either you can get into a negative cycle, which I have shown on the left hand side, or you can get into a positive cycle. So in short, what differentiates a rank holder from a non-rank holder is this. Non-rank holder usually gets into a negative cycle that you see on the left hand side, and a rank holder consistently tries. He need not get into a positive cycle immediately, but he consistently tries to remain in a positive cycle, and he always avoids getting into a negative cycle. That makes the difference, and this is the difference that tells you whether a person is going to become a master of questions or a master of answers. Fine. So people who always compare MCQs, MCQ books, end up becoming masters of questions. You should become masters of answers. But what kind of masters of answers? The answers generated by you, by your own self-reference, by your own independent thinking, where your analytical capability has improved a lot. Fine. Next. Suppose a student gets into this positive cycle, gets a very good rank, he becomes a celebrity, and others ask him questions. What kind of questions? Irrelevant questions. What are those irrelevant questions? Which book did you study? It means if he tells you that book and you read that book, you will also get a rank. No, it is not the book, it is that person who got the rank. They think the book that he studied had some magic in it. Ask any magician, he will tell you there is no magic. You have to work. It is like going and asking A.R. Rahman, oh my God, you got a such beautiful composition and you got an award for it. Tell me which piano you used. As if you get that piano and you will also compose a tune like that. No, it is Rahman who composed it. So try to become Rahman instead of trying to buy that piano. That's why people go on buying books, but they'll not become Rahmans. No typewriter has ever created a novelist ever. So reduce your dependence on typewriters. Try to become good novelists. Fine. They also ask, did you do medical papers? Depends on how good his basics were. If his medical basics were very poor, he would have spent more time on medical subjects. Fine. It all depends on individual capability. As you start your preparation, invest more time on your weakest areas. People do the reverse. People have biochemistry, microbiology as their difficult subjects very commonly. They should be reading more of those subjects. And then they get wrong advice from others. You hardly get any question from biochemistry. You get very few questions from microbiology. So why are you spending so much time on it? The secret is, if you cover up that much biochemistry and that much microbiology, you can answer another 10-20 questions from pathology, medicine and pharmacology. So it's like the foundation. So if you ignore the foundation and try to go for higher subjects, you are doing it big way wrong. So don't take these kind of advice seriously. You cannot afford to neglect or ignore any basic subject. Read these basic subjects. The higher up subjects become easier than they were before. Fine. Did you do national boards? National boards, the answers are trustworthy. We know that questions are very intelligently framed. Fine. So this one question everybody asks, and what we suggest is, if you can do national boards every day, if you do 10 questions every day, it's a very good strategy. And again, you should know why it is the right answer and why other three are wrong. National board papers usually have non-controversial answers. So let us just remember those answers. You are gone. Because there are thousands of others who are doing like you. And 5 or 10 of them can beat you. And you will get a rank 550. So beware of this. You took test series or regular coaching. It is his choice. It doesn't make any significant, it doesn't give you any significant thing or significant advice to you. I can tell you a few rank holders when I was in GDC. They used to sit in GDC canteen. They read for 3 months. They read only one MCQ book. So does it mean you should also sit in GDC canteen, read that one MCQ book and you will get a rank? No. It was a strategy adopted by him. It was good for him. It worked for him. You should see what works for you. So what is the bottom line? There is no universal strategy. Strategies are case dependent. You know best where you stand. So based on that, develop your game plan. Work on your weakest subjects first. Don't ignore the basic subjects. Fine? Next situation. You ask anyone towards the end, how is your preparation? Common answer. I have done pulse twice, target thrice, explore thrice, dentist 4 times. What is their expectation? They expect that by doing like this, they will take themselves to the point Y. Their performance will be at point Y. But on the day of examination, what happens? Their performance will be at point Z, because it is not stepwise increase. Your performance increases linearly. So if your concepts are not clear on the day of examination, Y to Z, that vertical distance is the deficit that you see. So you expect that you will be scoring 90%, which is point A, and you end up scoring 65%, which is point Z. So try to avoid this downfall. So if you are using these MCQ books, even more number of MCQ books, only to accumulate answers, all MCQ books are good. All of them are good. It depends on you how you are using it. If you are accumulating only answers from these books, you'll be only assuming that you have reached point Y, whereas your actual performance will be at point Z, and Y to Z will be the deficit felt on the day of examination. So don't just try to increase your familiarity with questions. Don't become the master of questions. Become the masters of answers. That too, self-referenced, self-analyzed, self-generated answers. So don't mistake answers for knowledge. Answers are not knowledge. 10th time. I'm done. I will not repeat anymore. So concept based learning can take you to point Y. MCQ based learning can take you to point Z. So am I telling you that you should be reading only textbooks? No. You have read them already. You have already read those textbooks. Fine. Your starting point should always be MCQs. Always start with MCQs. Fine. So take only those areas of science where maximum number of questions come. There, in that area, your reasoning should be very good. Fine. So if you are playing lottery, you will pick up those numbers which have appeared maximum number of times before. Same strategy. There are certain questions which keep on coming. Without them, it is not dentistry. Like caries, there have to be questions on that. Glass ionomer cements, pulpitis, primers, etchants, bonding agents, fluorides, stages of gingival inflammation, reamers and files. There is no dentistry beyond without these. So you have to be masters of these concepts. Then come other concepts. So first read the MCQs based on one subject or one topic. Based on that, you identify one area of textbook, read that, come back to the same questions, answer them with time. Wherever you have gone wrong, again go back to the textbook, read the science, apply it again, and get those questions right. This is the way to solve papers. This is the way to prepare. So your starting point is also MCQs, end point is also MCQs, but the science comes from textbooks. This is your strategy. Fine. Next. So I'll be giving you this final strategy of A, B, C, D, E. A lot of students must be aware of this. What is A? A is absolute priority. Without this, there is no dentistry. Like the topics I told you, you must know them. And then there are certain concepts which you have to build gradually. They are called as satellite concepts. Fine. For example, in trauma from occlusion, examiner wants to know only two things. Whether you know that the best diagnostic sign of trauma from occlusion is increasing mobility of teeth. Second thing is whether the student knows that there are no soft tissue changes because of trauma from occlusion. So whatever the type of question that is put, the ultimate concept tested is either of these two. Fine. So your absolute priority is you should know these two things. Then there are certain other concepts which you can build gradually, like peripheral buttress bone formation, buttressing bone, lipping, all that. Fine. Whether facets are diagnostic signs or not. What is the radiographic significance? They are the concepts to be built gradually. But what you should know is these two things. Trauma from occlusion, the best diagnostic sign is increasing mobility. Are there any soft tissue changes? No. These two things, they are the most essential two concepts. Without that, there is no trauma from occlusion. Fine. And then when you combine these two, it becomes a core concept. So you know what is absolutely essential for exam. You also know what are the surrounding scientific concepts. You have created a core concept. If you understand a core concept, you will not forget it. What is the things to be delayed towards the exam? Like the numerical values. People keep on remembering, they keep trying to remember those values. but they are very volatile. People keep forgetting them and they become panicky because the retention time of these numbers is very less, very little. So what you can do is you can delay these things towards the exam. Prepare for some values, not more than 20. You cannot retain more than 20. You can keep reading them before and also, but revise them once just before the day of exam. You can retain them for another 2-3 years. So you can afford to forget them after the exam is over. Fine. So there are certain things which have to be kept towards the end. And E, there are some things which have to be eliminated. Questions which are considered to be chronically controversial. The whole world is trying to answer them on Facebook and other social media forums. Eliminate them. When everybody is struggling, why you want to answer? It means everybody is going to struggle with those questions. You don't struggle with them. Be wise. Be wiser. So what happens to a hard working guy? Why he fails to get a rank? Because he doesn't differentiate between these 5 steps. He doesn't know what is important. He doesn't know what is not important. He invests equal number of time to the most unwanted concepts also. In fact, he dedicates maximum time on those controversial questions. 80% of time dedicated to those 20% of questions. And he doesn't gain any confidence. And he ends up losing a rank. Fine. So don't make this difference. Don't make this mistake. Try to know the difference. A requires maximum attention. E requires least attention. E you can eliminate. Certain concepts which you can eliminate. Fine. So you got 2 options now. Should you read maximum number of questions? And because you are reading maximum number of questions every day, like 300, 400 questions every day, you are able to give very little time for each concept. Or you are keeping fixed number of questions every day so that you can learn maximum science, maximum concepts. Which concept is good for you? Obviously, it is the right-sided option, right-hand side option. So anybody who says he is reading 400 to 500 questions per day, he is doing it wrong. If you do it properly from textbooks based on scientific concepts, you should be able to comfortably finish about 50 questions per day. So what I suggest is do about 10 questions in the morning, 10 in the afternoon, 10 in the evening, 10 in the night, and take good sleep. Get good sleep. Don't be under the impression that by doing 500 questions every day, you are able to cover all the questions. What you are doing, you are trying to become master of questions. That doesn't ensure any rank. Fine. So thank you so much. What is the time? Okay. So we have finished our first session in about 45 minutes. The session is open for questions. I'll take questions. Whatever you ask, I will answer. We have about 15-20 minutes time. Then we'll give a gap of 5 minutes and our second session will answer. Can I see the questions? You can type them online. I can see your questions and I can answer. Okay, first question is which book should we follow first, MCQ or theory? I think I answered it. Start from MCQs. MCQ books will tell you which are the commonest areas from where the questions have come. MCQ books only test your knowledge. Fine. So you should get that science from textbooks. Come back to MCQs. Solve them. Solve them in time. 100 questions per hour is a good speed. Try to solve 100 questions per hour. Fine. Your speed also should improve. Okay. A little audio delay will be there. So keep typing your questions, we'll answer. Hope the lecture was helpful. You can rate the lecture, you can like the lecture, you can send your personal feedback on Target Educare website. You can go to What After BDS Facebook page, you can go to Target Educare Facebook page or What After BDS event page that we have created on What After BDS Facebook page. There is an event created for today's online session. There you can go and give us your feedback. Fine. So as you must have understood, we are not here to promote any loose strategy. We don't promote any type of loose preparation strategy. So respect science, learn science, become very good ambassadors of science. Even if you don't get a rank, you should come out as a good scientifically oriented person who can practice very well. Fine. We are aware, we know very well that not everybody can get a rank. So when you are studying it for 1.5 years, you better utilize it as an opportunity to enhance your scientific knowledge. Don't come out as a more confused person. Fine. So don't come out with even more controversial questions in your mind. Come out with a lot more scientific concepts in your mind that you can apply in clinical practice. Fine. Any other question? Okay. Okay. You can ask your questions on the right hand side of the screen. We are able to see those questions. So type in your questions. We'll try our best to answer all of them. More comments below. You are welcome to approach us later also. You know that our email is given on the website. We have a Facebook page. You can comment there. You can send on our personal email IDs. We archive all the emails. So is that this slide now? Huh? They are seeing this slide. Mm-hmm. This is not seen, no? Close it. Mm-hmm. So I'm not being seen, no? Okay, so that was it. Any questions? We'll take questions. Please type in. We'll try our best to answer all of them. There was one question, which books to refer? I have already answered it. On the right hand side of the screen, there is a provision for you to type questions. See on the right hand side of the screen, those who have made this lecture full screen, minimize it or restore it to normal dimensions, then you will be able to see on the right hand side there is a section specifically meant for asking questions. So start typing in your questions, we'll answer them. We have got 5 minutes to answer, so be a little quick. Our next faculty has come in so that I can move out and he can take his place. Any query specific to AIIMS November 2015 or AIPGEE 2016? All right. To make core concept, we spend more time. What is alternate on this? The alternate on this is to lose a rank. When you think you are spending more time on core concepts, it means your basic concepts are not strong. So what happens is, initially, suppose you are preparing for 1 year. First 3 months you will be spending a lot of time on core concepts. And then your knowledge increases like a pyramid. What happens is, later you need not spend so much time. Things directly start falling into place. So you will spend much less time towards the end. One or the other time you must cover these concepts. This is what I told through the entire lecture. You will be under the euphoria that you have covered the syllabus, but you would have covered only the MCQs. You will not get the rank. You are here to get a rank. So to get a rank, in minimum attempts, start working through the core concepts. It is the best strategy. Initially it takes more time. It appears like it is taking more time, but your knowledge is increasing. You are not here to increase your familiarity with MCQs. So there is no alternate to it. The only alternative is losing rank. So heed to this advice very seriously, take it up and see how it works in your favor. This advice is to help your performance. So please do it without searching for any other alternative. Another alternative will make you happy, will give you short-term gratification, but in the long run, it will not be productive. Fine. Next question. How much time should we study each day? Depends on individual capacity. Simple rule is, study till your mind is able to absorb it and you are able to enjoy that session. The moment you think it is becoming too much of a burden, it means the body is giving you a signal to go out and indulge yourself in some recreative activity. Then you can come back. Fine. A simple rule is, study for an hour. After 1 hour, take a gap of 10-15 minutes, stretch, do little exercise, come back. And the most important advice is, don't study with your Facebook logged in. Don't study with your WhatsApp messages coming in. 1 hour study means in flow, only studying and absorbing the science. Otherwise, you will be putting in 10 hours of work, but actual productive hours will be 2. So you better study properly for 3 hours and spend rest of the day the way you want. Studying synopsis of a chapter from the material is better, or reading the chapter from the text keeping time in mind? reading a synopsis is like doing maths, solving maths. The person who writes synopsis becomes intelligent, not the person who reads the synopsis. It is like watching somebody bat, playing cricket on TV, then expecting yourself to bat the same way. You have to get onto the ground and practice. You have to solve mathematics. You have to solve mathematic problems. Then you will know how to solve it otherwise on the day of examination. So, read from the textbook. You are not reading the complete textbook. You are studying from MCQ point of view. Read it and express it. The problem most of the students face is because they convert every science concept into words. They try to remember them in lines. Whereas the truth is, many concepts are understood only in the form of diagrams. Many concepts are understood only in the form of tables. Many concepts require you to draw a flow chart, and other concepts require expression in the form of statements. People spend a lot of time because they try to visualize a diagram in the form of a sentence, which is a very big time wasting exercise. So when it is required that you should draw a diagram, draw a diagram. The whole thing is over in 10-15 minutes. People don't get the concept because they try to remember a line out of it. That never works. So first thing you should do is identify where the concept belongs. Is it a flowchart concept, table concept, drawing concept, or a verbal concept? That means a sentence concept. Based on that, your mind absorbs it. Something that has to be drawn, like anatomical landmarks. You are trying to make a mnemonic out of it. You are gone. That mnemonic never works. You know that. Next question. How do we manage in 6 months core concepts and MCQs? 6 months time. You can select 50 questions per day. 6 months, how many days? 180 days. So 180 days into 50. 9,000 questions. Fine. You are doing only 50 questions per day for 180 days. That is 6 months. That amounts to 9,000 questions. 9,000 questions, you can divide them into, or you can take 8,000 questions. Don't even take 9,000 questions. Take 8,000 questions. 8,000 questions you can divide into 4,000 AIIMS questions, 4,000 AIPGEE questions. Fine. So 4,000 AIPGEE question means what? Every year we get 200 questions. So you have got 20 years AIPGEE papers. And what about AIIMS? AIIMS also we get about 200 questions per year. 19 one exam, 19 one exam. Fine. So you are solving about 20 years AIPGEE papers. 20 to 200, 4,000. And AIIMS again 20 into 200, that is 4,000. This is more than enough. If you read these 8,000 questions purely from core concept point of view, your knowledge will be much more than what an MDS person is. Forget getting a lower rank. You should get first rank only. So what you are doing? You are only doing 50 concepts per day, 50 questions per day. Forget 50 questions. Take only 40 questions. How many questions you are solving? 10 questions in the morning, 10 in the afternoon, 10 in the evening, 10 in the night. 40 questions per day. 6 months, that is 180 days. 180 into 40, 7,200. Even if you take 15 years AIPGEE, 15 years AIIMS, how many questions they are? 15 into 200, 15 into 200, 6,000 questions. So what you are doing here is, by doing only 40 questions per day, you are doing last 15 years AIPGEE, last 15 years AIIMS, plus 1,200 questions extra. Actually, the whole morning you are studying only 10 questions. If you make sure that all these 10 questions belong to one topic, so that you are focused on one topic, you are almost there. So the greatest strategy is so simple. So don't try to complicate it unnecessarily. Is it clear? Let me do the next question. Which subject should we focus more on? Focus more on your weakest subject. Very simple. Only you know which is your weakest subject. So focus on that subject. For somebody, it could be pharmacology. He should focus more on maximum on pharmacology. For you, pharmacology could be your most favorite subject. You need not focus so much on. Your weakest subject could be orthodontics. You should be focusing more on that. So it is case dependent. If anybody tells you focus like this, he is telling you a lie. Do what is good for you. Make a case dependent game plan. Okay. Few more minutes. We'll take exactly 3 more questions. Then we'll take a gap of 2-3 minutes for our next faculty to come in and set up his thing. I hope the concepts that were covered throughout the lecture were helpful. We request all of you, we urge all of you to get back to us through emails, WhatsApp messages, or Facebook messages to let us know how the interaction was, and make your comments based on your preparation. Your focus should be to enhance the productivity of your preparation. Fine. So try to gain the most out of today's lecture, today's discussion, and the following discussion that will happen subsequently. You can approach me on Google Plus, you can approach me on Facebook, you can approach me on Twitter, you can send me a private email, you can approach me through Target Educare email ID, the official email ID that is given to you, or if you are in any of the Target Educare WhatsApp group, you can put your message there. Fine. So I think we have answered most of your questions. Other questions that are here, we will note their name, note their Google ID, and accordingly we will give our answer to them later. So what we will do is we'll take a 2 minutes break. Let our next faculty come in and set up his structure and start his lecture in another 2-3 minutes. Thank you so much. It was a great pleasure interacting with all of you. Sorry for the technical delay in the beginning, because a lot of students were trying to log in and we're trying to help them to log in properly. A lot of them had confusion about their TR number. A lot of them had confusion about how to log in through their mobile device. We have answered each one of them. Our aim was to help you all of them log in properly. And once most of you logged in, only then we started our lecture. Thank you for your cooperation. Wait for a few minutes. Our next faculty will start his lecture in a few moments. Thank you so much. Stay logged in. Give us 2-3 minutes. Thank you.
on the first slide. Okay. Well, good morning, guys. Uh, it's on. Okay. So you had a good session with Dr. Rajiv. He's been talking about how to crack entrance exams, and I hope you guys have been listening to him, asking him the right questions. To introduce myself, I am Dr. Neeraj Sheth here, and I'm here on to help you out. People who don't want to really focus on Indian entrance exams and are looking at some career options abroad. So that's where I am here to give you some new parameters on going abroad. So abroad avenues right in front of you on your screen was an idea that was a brainchild of myself and Dr. Rajiv. We started it round about 5 years back, and it all started with my own perseverance of going abroad, getting a seat in a US university, etc., etc. And the downside of not getting a visa there. In the abroad avenues, what we do is we guys help you out selecting the right career choice in round about 26 countries abroad. We also help you migrate if you really want to go out and settle out in some of the foreign countries. We also help you look at getting into all kinds of research opportunities out there. If somebody who wants to really enter a research program and make a career out of it, that is what we help you out with. So let me move forward. Abroad Avenues is basically a division of White Glove Services Private Limited. That's our parent company, wherein we have other divisions also which are right there in front of you on your. You can just Google one of them and you'll get an idea of all the things that we do. I really don't want to get into explaining all of that as of now, but you can definitely get an idea of what we do out there. What After BDS started by Dr. Rajiv is also a part of this whole group where we help you students with career options along with Target Educare. Well, briefly to talk about abroad avenues and to help you. Normally whenever we go out, we talk to students. Most of us in our final years, in our internships, start coming up with questions what to do, whether to go for an MDS, whether to go for any short course abroad, whether to start a clinic, what is the next best option, and whether it is something that's a wise decision. We sit down in canteens, form groups, start discussing, go out, ask our seniors, and then Google out who's doing what around the world to come up with a solution. But by the time our internship ends, we are still stuck with the same question, trying to figure out what is the best thing for us. And that is where most of us then, after getting out of college, start running around trying to see, okay, this is good or that is good, and start working towards it. That is something where all of us make a mistake. So here I am today. I'm going to give you an idea that avoid that mistake. Internship in college is not about just practicing clinical dentistry. It's not about going through the rounds in various departments in the college, but it is also about building your resume. It is also about getting the base work done. It doesn't matter whether you want to take up MDS as a career choice, or you want to go abroad, or you want to just start your practice. The number of opportunities that you're going to get at your internship level is something you will never get after getting out of college. So that is something which is the most critical thing. I'm going to take you through that in some time in this lecture. Abroad Avenues is basically a young institution where we help dentists and dental students pick up career options. And the reason we are here today is because all of us are mostly dentists in this team. We understand what a dental student goes through, and that's how we help them make the best choice when it comes to career. Some statistics here for you, which I was talking about. We have close to 30,000 students in India who pass out of dental college every year. On an average, 30% of students take up MDS because we have 30% seats available. Then 30% of the students wait it out for a year to get a shot at MDS again and start working. So that's like, in simple language, it's a second attempt at getting an MDS. Round about 30% start their own practices. They get into clinical dentistry, set up a practice and start working. 8% of the students change profession and start looking out for non-clinical options, which is something that is on the increase today. People are looking out for administration, management, business, operations, various fields which are away from dentistry. People are also getting into a lot of healthcare domains. This forms it. And 2% of the students start working towards exploring career opportunities abroad, which is something the sad part out here because more and more people can look out for this. The reason when we were talking to students and we found out why more people don't look out for career opportunities abroad, the biggest reason for this is the rumors that have been spread that going abroad means going and repeating 4 years of BDS. Going abroad means spending 2 to 3 crores of rupees. Going abroad means going through the pains of 2 years of process of application and never being able to get an admission. These are few of the rumors. And then the other side of rumors start that you will never get a license to practice. They will not treat you equally. There are racism issues, etc., etc. So these are issues which really prevent students from going abroad, which according to me is not correct. That's the question. We pass out of internship, we are in internship, we are in our final year. That's the question. What next? What after BDS? That is what every one of us look into. Conventional thinking, India, MDS, clinical practice. Go with what your seniors have done. Go with what you have seen and observed in a senior's practice. For the rule. Well, it's a good thing. It's a tried and tested model. So I would not say that don't go for it. It is definitely worth going for it. But you have to weigh your options also correctly. Whether it is something that is really gonna help you build your career or whether it is something that you are going because of the flow. In simple language, herd mentality, which is very common in our country. Are you looking at going with the flow or are you looking at going against the flow? That is a choice that you need to make. When it comes to going abroad, well, the questions are right in front of you on your screen. These are the questions that are normally asked, which people don't have an answer to, and then the rumors spread, and then the decisions are not taken. So that's what it is all about. When it comes to India, it is a land of opportunities. There are things that are happening in India. The only thing is that one needs to be focused and one needs to really, really dig deep on what is happening, where it is happening, and how can they make the most of these opportunities. People who are looking at non-clinical options, especially India is currently the most targeted economy in terms of investments and business growth. Largest amount of FDI capital is being infused into India, especially in the healthcare segment. Healthcare segment, which was a 5 to 10 billion dollar industry in 2005, is expected to become a 500 billion dollar industry in 2020, and that's a huge, huge thing. So opportunities are humongous. Having the right info, having the right knowledge, knowing which direction to take is what is important. And it all starts back at your internship level. That is when you have maximum time to do the research. These are few opportunities that I've just noted down here for your reference. If you look at it, MDS. Now, if I ask everyone and if I'm standing right in front of you in person, then if I ask you, okay, you take up an MDS course and what can you really do after that? I am sure majority of you will come back with an answer. Get into a specialist practice or get into a college as an academician. But don't you think there is much more to it? Come on, you spend 3 years of your life doing MDS and then you come back to me saying that these are the only two options. Well, start thinking, guys. There is much, much, much more to it. A specialist dentist who has spent 3 years of life doing working on one particular discipline of dentistry has got a lot of opportunities ahead in India, and I'm not talking abroad. To name a few, point number one, which is right now in demand in the market, there are close to 6,800 healthcare companies in India who are looking to take specialist dentists on board. If you want, just drop in a question and I'll send the list to all of you. Why why would they want to take you on board? Simple answer. They want to take you on board because they want to use your expertise to develop multiple products, multiple businesses which can really work in your domain. If I talk about the pharmacology sector, they are constantly looking out to develop drugs as well as products which can be used in your discipline. Now, who better than you would be there to really give them the right answers? Because whenever you are developing a product, the most important thing here is to ask the right questions and to get the right answers. So that is just one thing. I'm just gonna brief you on certain key things. There are much more things that you can take up. The second biggest thing, the concept of corporate dental centers, which is something that is being picked up in our country. I know it's on the slower phase right now, but it is definitely going to pick up in the next 5 to 7 years. The biggest reason for this is the amount of investment that has gone into this sector. There is a report which is published by University of Wharton, Pennsylvania, which talks about infusion of close to $2.2 billion in corporate dental chains in India. Now, who are these corporate dental chains looking out for? They are looking out for you guys, the specialists. They want specialists to come on board. They are ready to pay you fat corporate salaries. They are ready to give you the same perks and performance bonus which a corporate employee gets today, and they want you to deliver your expertise. As of today, sitting here while talking to you guys, there are close to 26 different corporate dental chain companies in India. Cumulative amongst themselves, a total of 1280 centers. Well, that's huge. Considering 5 years back there were none, that's huge as of today. So that is something that an MDS degree will help you get. So think about it. It's conventional, it's time tested, but it can be used for a lot of other things. The next below that, MBA, MSc. What are this? MBA, when it comes to our mind, it is always goes wearing in a corporate, following orders of their boss. That is what our perception goes. Really true? Well, no. And years back was all about finance, human resources, operations, marketing, strategy, etc. It's totally changed. You have 24 different disciplines under MBA. These are niche disciplines. You know, when I if you really go back and think, how much time of your day do you really spend on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and Google Plus and YouTube, etc.? And if you do an average, there is a study which says on an average every Indian today spends close to 40 minutes on them. Now there is an MBA degree which helps you utilize these platforms to promote business. Does it mean that you have to be a non-dentist to take up this degree? Ideal case scenario? No. Because you can be a dentist, you can take up this degree and then use it for your profession. Think about it. Again, coming back to corporate dental centers, they need you. They need you with this degree because they know you are going to be the best guys helping them promote their business. Dental companies, they need you because they know that you have in-depth knowledge of dentistry. Now you have in-depth knowledge of marketing on digital media. Boss, they won't go to people who come from non-clinical backgrounds. So use your BDS or an MDS degree as a strength and don't use it as your weakness. The only thing here is that you need to go beyond your horizon, think wider, and then look out for better opportunities. Next thing, right on front of you on your screen, MPH, Public Health Dentistry. Community dentistry, the most hated subject in college. But when it comes to business outside, well, it is one of the most loved subjects. Public health guys have got ample number of job opportunities at various locations. One of the largest non-profit corporate sector in India is the NGO. But has somebody ever thought that getting into an NGO and working for them also gets you a chance to earn a fat salary? Which perhaps your colleague might be working for a private corporate and earning, or one of your colleague might be running a dental clinic and earning. It's a fact. NGOs also have human resources department within themselves because they are also people. So public health dentistry, there is a huge demand out there. After becoming a public health dentist, you can also take up a course in statistics and then join any of these companies who are into real research. There is a huge demand for statisticians out there. And who better than a dentist plus a public health master's plus a statistician diploma holder? Well, that is something to think for. Let me move forward. Let me take you to something else. There is a screen in front of you which is talking about one course which is conducted by Manchester University. But there are close to 18 such programs which are now conducted by various universities. What are these programs? These are basically distance learning programs. The USP or the best part of these programs is that you get to earn while you learn, which you would not get otherwise if you end up joining a college, whether in India or abroad, doesn't matter. If you end up joining a college and you take up a full-time program, then you have to be dedicated and you have to work within the college infrastructure, which will not give you a good chance to earn. But look at here, you have good universities, you have the best ranked universities offering you distance learning programs, and these are not diploma or certificate programs. These are masters, these are degrees. These degrees are recognized in all Commonwealth countries. If you Google a list of Commonwealth countries, then you will get a list of 40 countries. This, these are countries where all these programs are recognized. So these are options that you can look at. Well, Manchester University, right here in front of you on the screen, offers a master's in restorative and aesthetic dentistry. Now, this is a 2-year program, 2-year distance learning program, which requires you to submit cases online, which requires you to attend lectures online, but which also requires you to travel to Manchester at least 3 times in 2 years for going and learning hands on. The duration for your travel would not be more than a week. A lot of people have asked me these questions: what will happen in a week? What will I learn out there? Whether it will be worth it? Is it not better that I join a college and get full time training? What should I be doing? So, the answer to that is that this 1 week, you go out there, you're going to learn. I'm not debating on that. But along with learning, you're going to do one of the most important things that a human does. That's networking. You're going to be meeting participants from close to 15, 20 different countries. You're going to be with them for a week in person. Just think about the possibilities beyond that. You're going to get a first hand information on what happens in dentistry in close to 15 countries. What can you do with that information? That is up to you. Don't get me wrong, but with that information, you can actually explore n number of opportunities. You can get into n number of symbiotic relationships and help each other grow. Everybody in every country is looking for an opportunity to grow. Are no different. They are no different. Join hands, come up with innovative ideas. It will not happen until you get some kind of platform where you can meet people from various countries on a one-to-one basis. Think about it. That's second biggest advantage of doing a distance learning program. Now there are such programs available. You can write back to us and we'll send you a list of all those programs. Depending upon your choice of discipline in dentistry, you can pick up any one of these programs. Moving forward, this is something that I really wanted to talk to people whenever I go out talking on selecting a career option abroad. See, sitting here in this time, if I am going to give you on how to go about applying for a position or for a course in the US or for a course in Australia or for a course in UK or for a course in Canada, it is really not going to work. So the best part is to give a reason, give a point, give think whether you should be taking up that course. Once you decide that you want to take up that course, then we are there to help you. The idea is that the whole purpose of today's program with and Dr. Rajesh Brainchild, as he said, that start thinking, start believing in the science. We are not here to sell. We are here to make you think. Dental graduates, as it is written on your slide, believe that possibilities are always there in a preconceived notion. There is something that your seniors have done, that is something that you want to do because that is the best example in front of you. But is it really true? Not really. You have your own brains, you are a dentist, you are a graduate, you can come up with 10,000 ideas of your own. Respect the seniors, learn from them, use their experience, and make your own career path. The biggest thing to learn from your seniors is ask them about all the mistakes that they have made in getting successful in life. And the biggest thing that you can do is avoid all the mistakes that they have made. What happens? It clears your path, it removes the hurdles, and gives you a chance to move forward faster. All about going abroad. There are 26 to 30 Indian countries that abroad avenues today can help you with, but there are more than 80 destinations where Indian dentists are practicing today and are doing good for themselves. So there is a lot of opportunity going abroad. Running further down, I'm just going to give you guys a gist of a few locations. It is not possible here to talk about all the locations, but yes, I'm going to give you guys a gist of a few locations that will help you start thinking whether it's time for you to really start thinking about going abroad or not. What is it, when it comes to going abroad? As I said earlier, the most important thing of going abroad here is getting the right base work done. What do you mean by the right base work? The right base work means having the right set of points to be added to something called as your resume. A resume, basically, every one of you know what it is. It's a simple document which talks about all your achievements until today. Whether it is academic, whether it is extracurricular, whether it is something that you are passionate about, everything. It can be an award that you have won, it can be a position that you have held. But what is important here is to put it in the right format so that somebody out there reading it knows that I am reading a resume of a person who has the potential and who has the caliber to join my university. How do you go about doing that? The most important thing there is look out for opportunities while you are in college. Every single activity that you do in college can be recorded and can have a presence on your resume. A simple example for that is community dentistry dental health checkup camps. It is compulsory for BDS graduates today to do at least 4 dental health checkup camps in a year. Colleges make you do much more than that while you are there in the posting. But how many of you really maintain a record of these camps apart from getting it entered in the community dentistry journal which you end up submitting in college? Answer is very less. Our survey tells that it's 0.01% of students. Now that's almost negligible. But what happens if you start maintaining a record? A simple letter signed by the HOD of your community dentistry department, what does it do for you? If you have that record, you add it as a highlight on your resume and you end up getting close to 120 credit points. Now that's a lot of points when it comes to resume evaluation. Think about it. There are other things in departments. When you are in internship in every department, you might end up getting an interesting case which you are doing, working with your professors out there and your HODs. But how many of you really end up making a record? Again, a similar percentage there. Start maintaining those records, because once you have a record, you have a proof, and then you can really enter it in your resume, which will help you pursue your opportunity, whether it's India or abroad, doesn't matter. So that is the basic when it comes to when I say all about going abroad. The next thing is people ask me what are the options abroad. Is it just doing a specialization? Is it just doing a master's program? Or is it just working towards getting a license out there? Or is it something more to this? The slide in front of you, right on your screens, will tell you the number of opportunities that you have abroad. It starts with graduate programs, it starts with clinical practice, postgraduate program, research, masters, PhDs, fellowships, preceptorships, observerships. There are a lot of exciting opportunities. All depends on what you want to do in your careers. There are people who come and talk to us and who says that we just want to experience dentistry there. We just want to see what they do, how they do, and then learn from that, come back and try and implement good things what we learn out there. Well, for them, getting into a university for a 3 week to a 6 week observership will help them. Go there, see how the industry is being done out there. Observe, learn, come back and try and implement. There are people who says they want a foreign degree or a foreign certificate behind their name because they believe that will help them market their practices back better. Well, there are a lot of fellowships, there are a lot of certificates, programs. Pick up any one of them. Choose the subject that you like. Get them and then put it up on your clinic wall and see whether you can really use to market your practice. The next thing comes is people who talk about going there and getting a master's degree because they are interested in learning from the masters out there and then implementing them in your practice. There are master's program available in almost all countries today. Every single dental college around the world has got master's program. Now it cannot happen that all these dental colleges have got the best master's program. There are good programs, there are bad programs. Selecting the right program according to the discipline of your choice is very, very important. And that is something where we help you out with. Let's come to USA. 92% of Indian students when asked which country would you prefer when you have to go abroad, which country do they prefer is USA. And that's a lot of students. But what is dentistry in US all about? Is it about going there and doing 4 years of DDS? Is it about going there and spending 3 crores or 4 crores of rupees? Well, no. It's simple. The US licensure board working with the American Dental Association talks of a very simple rule. Any international dentist who has passed out from a non-accredited dental institution. A non-accredited dental institution means a dental institution which is not certified by American Dental Association and its partner bodies. So any dental student who has passed out from a non-accredited dental student needs a minimum of 2 years of clinical education in the United States from an accredited dental institution to be eligible for obtaining a license to practice. That's the law. In simple language, you need minimum of 2 years of education in any of the institutions which are certified by the American Dental Association and its partner bodies to be eligible for license. Now, this 2 years of clinical education can be obtained in multiple ways. There are general dentistry programs. There are advanced programs for international qualified dentists. Then there are master's programs. Then there are fellowships. You can pick up any one of them to be eligible for obtaining a license. But dentistry is not as simple as it sounds. So it's a funny business. The next step, which is very, very critical here, is understanding that every single state in the United States has got a state licensing board who has their own set of rules when it comes to allowing a person to practice. So what is important here is that pick up any one of these programs, undergo the 2 years of clinical education that you need to undergo, become eligible for a license, but parallelly also keep a check on the rules which are laid out by the state dental boards, so that you know that you're going to be eligible to practice in that particular state. That is important. The examinations that you see on the screen out here are most of the eligibility exams that are required for most of this program. I'm not saying all of these programs, but most of this program. National Boards Part 1, National Boards Part 2, they are basically eligibility exams that you need to clear. They are simple MCQ based exams which you anyways give here for getting into an MDS program. They are run on similar lines, but needs a different level of preparation for cracking this exam. And then you have, once you clear these two exams, which is your National Boards Part 1 and Part 2, you get 2 years of clinical education training. The next thing that you need to do is clear a regional board exam, which is your state licensure exam. Whichever state you want to practice, you have a state licensure exam that you need to clear, and then you get a license to practice. Now, doing all of this, does it really involve spending 3 or 4 crore of rupees? Well, no. It can easily be done in an amount which is much lesser than that. There is a huge range starting from, say, an investment of 30 lakhs going up to an investment of a crore. There is a huge range. It again depends on what program, which university, how many years, it depends on all of it. Once you select the best, then you know exactly how much it will follow. The second best destination of choice after US. Well, recently this destination has really picked up in certain ways, and it really has gone down in certain ways. I'll tell you the reasons for it. But still, it is considered as the second best after US, which is Canada. The biggest reason that I could possibly find out for this is because large scale Indian communities are present in this country. And people go there because they have some or the other relative who can help them and guide them settle down in this country. My reasons for suggesting this particular country are totally different. One of the biggest reasons that I would want to suggest this country is because now getting a visa for this country is very easy. Our Prime Minister has really made it easy for us by allowing visa on arrival when you go to Canada. The second reason why Canada should be a preferred destination, because Canada really is welcoming dentists at the moment. They have put dentistry under special professional skilled labor licensure, and that is why they have come up with a beautiful process which is there on your screen. It is called as the equivalency process. Equivalency process is basically a three-step process which you have to clear. You have to clear 3 levels of exams in these 3 steps and then get an equivalency certificate. A equivalency certificate basically states that your Indian BDS degree is equivalent to a Canadian DDS degree and then makes you eligible to get a license. The entire process can be completed in less than a year's time, provided you clear each step at the first attempt. There is a question here which says that GRE can be an alternative to national boards. Well, GRE cannot be an alternative to national boards if you are looking out for a clinical program. It can be an alternative to national boards if you are looking out for non-clinical options in the United States. Possibility and prospects of doing MBA or going abroad. Okay. Well, possibilities are a lot and prospects are huge of doing an MBA after MDS. Just to name a few, an MBA healthcare degree after MDS immediately gets you to a senior management position with a corporate dental chain. A senior management position, the annual package that is being offered is anywhere between 20 to 25 lakhs per annum. That's an immediate thing that comes to my mind. If you talk about going abroad, well, there are a lot of possibilities and prospects out there. It's a huge list. I would really request you to drop me an email and I'll answer you on that email. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for a patient hearing. Thank you for being with us on a Sunday morning. It was a session of almost 3.5 hours, and I hope it was really helpful to all of you. We have tried our best to give our the knowledge we had in our own field of expertise, and I hope you take up the suggestions and apply them in your own best interest. And we welcome you to ask your questions later also, once the lecture is over. There are a lot of communication channels. You can approach us on Facebook through Target Educare email ID or on our own personal email IDs that we have shown in our lectures. I myself am available on Facebook, Twitter, as well as on Google Plus, or you can contact me through Target Educare official email ID. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure being with you all. We tried our best to answer all your questions and we'll keep the process on. Let us hope to get back in touch with you again in some of the future sessions, about which we'll keep you informed. Thank you once again. Enjoy your Sunday evening. Bye bye. There is one more question. UK had a lot of options earlier, but the number of opportunities have come down because the demand supply equation has reduced to a great extent in 1 decade. I think Dr. Neeraj is in a better position to answer. The question is, I want to know, is it a good option going to UK and work there as a dentist?
Going to UK and working there as a dentist, well, definitely that's a very good option, I can say, considering in the last 3 months UK government has started issuing more number of visas for professional skilled labor. So getting a registration with the GDC is now an easier process. So you can definitely look out. UK has some of the best universities in the world which offer some fantastic programs, even if you are looking out for studying out there. But practicing out there, definitely. The biggest advantage there is that UK is a unique country which has got something like a national health service, an NHS structure in place, which can offer you easy job opportunities, which can give you a chance to earn your initial sustenance money quickly and then take it up from there. And NHS also gives you an opportunity to buy out practices with an existing patient database, which helps you build your baseline patients for your own practice. Thank you guys. I hope you guys really enjoyed whatever we spoke about today, and we are there to guide you with all the possible questions. You have our contacts out there. You are there on YouTube, you are there on Facebook. Just contact us, write to us, and we'll be more than happy to answer all your questions.
Thank you for the last question about UK. Even I was not aware that there are several new opportunities available. Even I was under the impression that UK opportunities have almost got over. And thanks, Dr. Neeraj, for giving us new hope that there are still more opportunities. I hope the message is out clearly to everyone. And I wish all of you best of luck. Thank you so much. Bye bye.